retired as a birthday present?
That's pretty cool. You know, I'd rather try to get him a fifth year. That would be better and more enjoyable. But yeah, it's not something that Doug really enjoys, that sort of thing. But you know, I'm glad we're finally able to make it happen, and the schedule would work. That, you know, he's in Milwaukee the night before and in Chicago the night after. So it was perfect, and it'd be great to have him back and celebrate what was a great career.
Did what he do here? I mean, you obviously want to have faith in your kid when he starts college, but from your expectations when he came into what he ended, I mean, how much did he surpass that and really put Creighton on the map?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's any father that would have that sort of expectation for their kid coming into college and what he ended up accomplishing. But I think and I know Marcus mentioned it in the release. I think that group, and certainly Doug was the centerpiece of that group. It was such an important time in our history, and I think it'll be looked upon many years later as a critical time because of the change. You know, we're going from the Valley to the Big East overnight, and to have a team that was able to, you know, not only have some success, but, you know, fight for a championship, make it to the Big East final, be a high seed in the NCAA tournament. The timing of that couldn't have been any better, and I think it really allowed us to move this program forward as a result of what that team did, and certainly Doug was a huge part of that.
You parsed through the Colorado State film. What was the hardest part of that as well?
You know, we got really good shots the first half. I think if I could replay that first half and over again and take the exact same shots, and they take the exact same shots, I think we have a double-digit lead. And I think the game probably goes a different direction in the second half then. But, you know, we started pressing a little especially when we got 10 minutes into that second half, we weren't really able to cut into that lead as much as we'd like. And I think we got a little fatigued at that point too. But, you know, we're going to have to be a team that's going to make jump shots. That's just the reality of who we are. And we've shown that we can do that at a high level. And unfortunately, it's a game of basketball, and Lakers got beat by 40 last night, so it happens.
What do you expect to see out of this team? Your first true road test of the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a challenging game. You know, Oklahoma State really hasn't – not really. They haven't had their entire roster for one game yet this season. They're missing a couple guards early and missed a big game, and Bryce was out, you know, a few games, and I think he'll be back. You know, this is a team, if they were healthy from the jump, they'd be 6-0, and everybody would be talking about how good they are. But they've had to deal with some injuries and some guys out of the lineup, and now that they're back, I think we're going to have to play a heck of a game.
We might not get to talk to you before Sunday. I mean, how much are you looking forward to that rivalry, you know, in front of a packed arena? And do you kind of feel like you guys owe them one after they stole one from you last year?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I haven't thought about it a second yet till you brought it up. Oklahoma State's been all of our focus, but yeah, I mean, it's a great for the state. You know, especially I think this is Fred's best team. I've just seen him a little bit on TV on the side a few times, and you know, I think this is his best group and most consistent group on both ends of the floor, and as a result, they've played some really good basketball. So, you know, they got the best of us last year, and I'm pretty confident our guys will at least be ready to go and put up a pretty good fight.
I know that pregame speech Sunday is probably the last thing in your mind, but do you bring up last year? Will you bring up last year today?
I don't need to. They were all there, so I don't think I have to remind them.
You don't get afforded kind of a week like this when the season starts early, so I guess, what do you think the team got better at this week? And kind of got their center on themselves a little bit more instead of home?
Yeah, we needed a day off Friday, but Saturday, Sunday were good. We got back to some fundamental things, and I think maybe a little bit more teeth to what we were doing, a little bit more pace offensively, especially when things get bogged down a little bit. That's where that pace becomes so important, and spacing becomes so important. And at times we kind of lost the integrity of both at the same time. And when you don't have great pace and you're all standing on top of each other, it's hard to play very efficient offense. So that we were allowed, we had the ability to work on ourselves for a couple of days, which was really good. And, we'll continue to do some of that today and tomorrow as we prepare for Oklahoma State.
How's the team doing from a health standpoint?
Better than we were. Mason was back in practice, certainly not back to 100% yet after missing as much time as he's missed. But he's getting better every day. Jason Green's getting back in shape. It's still going to take him a while, and he was kind of thrown into action when he probably wasn't totally ready for it, having only practiced a couple days.
I know Trey kind of told a little bit in case with a virtual opponent for him, what do you kind of expect?
I expect he'll bounce back. He's had 2 really good days of practice, and he hasn't had many days like that in his career. So you have to learn to deal with it a little bit as well. But it'll be fun for him. I know he's got a ton of family and friends that'll be at the game, and for him to go back to his home state, having had a great career here at Creighton, it'll be pretty cool for him.
Those 2 games down at KC?
I think one big thing for us was that we kind of got hit in the mouth a little bit at Colorado State, and we weren't making shots. We got to respond better to that. I think we had 2 really good days of practice this weekend and kind of work on some of the things that we didn't do so well. So, while I wish we didn't have a game like that, there's definitely a lot of lessons learned from that.
When you watch the film and try to put things into column as far as what needed to be better, were you more defensive or offensive?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think part of it was our activity level on defense and offense, and the way we moved definitely dropped as we saw shots not go in, which is something that can't happen because eventually you're going to have games that you don't make shots, but you got to keep playing the same way. But I think that was one of the big things for us.
What was practice like this week after that loss?
Just really practicing the things that we historically have done so well, but then kind of didn't do so well against Colorado State. It sounds kind of silly to say that, but it's just small things like the pace which we move, our cuts, our intensity and talk on defense, things like that. We just needed to hammer down.
Their first true road test of the season out there tonight. What have you kind of seen from Oklahoma State so far? Is this what you expected from the environment?
We haven't done a ton of scout on Oklahoma State. This weekend was more working on us and we do, but obviously a really, really good team. Anytime you go on the road, it's going to be a challenging environment. So it'll be exciting to see what they got for us this week.
What do you think about the news today that they're retiring Doug's jersey?
I thought I already was retired. Yeah, no, that's really cool for him, but it's been kind of unofficially retired for a few years, so that's awesome though.
Is it hard not to look forward knowing what's at the end of the week waiting for you?
No, I'm usually pretty good at staying and focus on what we have next. If you would have asked me that question a day ago, I would have been like, who do we have at the end of the week? Because I've been just focused on the next game. Because, especially after a game like Colorado State where you don't play so well, you still want to get to that next game so bad. This really, you kind of got, how would you say it, blinders on to get to that game.
I kind of wish you would have had a week off between that loss and playing Thursday.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime you don't play the way you want to, the way you know you can play, you definitely want to get to the next one as quick as possible in the week. This is a long week.
I don't know if we'll see you ahead of Sunday, so that one's been circled on your calendar for a while.
Yeah, it always is. The rivalry's always great. The environment's always awesome. They got us last year, so definitely a little extra motivation there. But it's always a fun game. Has been every year I've been here, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I kind of feel like after what happened last year, you owe them one.
Yeah, anytime you lose to any team, you always feel like you owe them one. But especially in a rivalry, it means even a little more.
Is it more so of what we should have done better? Is it just mad, sad, just trying to move on? What's the emotion coming off that?
I think a game like that, you always try to find what you see in any type of game that you lose, but win or lose, But a game like that, it's kind of one of those I feel like you have to move on from and kind of just, you have a bad shooting night, everybody as a whole. So, you kind of just have to move on from it and just learn from the mistakes that you made personally, but also, the coaching staff. We had a great practice to 2 days after, and Matt kind of got after us a little bit. But I feel like that's kind of what we needed at this point in the season, rather now than at the end of the season. So I mean, it was great. It was a great learning experience.
Do you have any takeaways from the film study besides just shots not going in?
I just think that we need a little bit more teeth on defense. I think that in the first half we played pretty well, even without shots falling on the defensive end. But then the second half, I feel like we kind of got away from that. I think that we were letting guys get to their spots. I think we weren't getting over screens as well as we should have and things like that. So.
Trey, when you saw the Oklahoma State game announced on the schedule, you kind of had that one circled for a while.
Yeah, for sure. I know that most of my teammates have already sent me all their tickets and things like that, but I can't wait to play there. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a good one. Right now, I have 40 tickets, so that's just where it's at right now.
Did they try to recruit you at all, either OU or OSU?
OU was my first offer that I got in 8th grade, and OSU was my second offer in 9th grade. So they recruited me throughout my whole high school career. When I decommitted from Auburn, they kind of hopped back on the trail. So.
You feel full circle that you're going back there now?
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. I've been in that gym probably hundreds of times. I've been up there less times in Oklahoma than OU, but I've been there more than any other university. So.
Obviously, you want to do well in front of the family and friends, but how important is it that you kind of keep a balance and don't force the game and let it come to you on Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, just try to play my game, play as a team. I mean, never really try to force anything. Even coming off a bad shooting game, I mean, I know that shots are going to fall throughout the course of the season. It's just happens sometime in basketball. It's a part of the game. But you continue to work on your game. You never force anything. You know, try to get my teammates involved early in games like that. So it's going to be fun. I can't wait. It's going to be very exciting.
I know we'll see you between now and Sunday, but just, is that what been circled on your guys' calendar for a while, get another shot at Nebraska after the guy left?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always circled on your calendar to play another in-state team, and I think that last year we didn't play our best, but at the same time, it's one of those games you have circled every year. My freshman year, we were able to go to their place and beat them, so I can't wait to get there and then play a Nebraska team that's been playing really good basketball up until this point. So.
And this time having a chance at full strength, that you didn't have Koch last year, right?
Yeah. He was kind of sick at that point, I think. Yeah, but I mean, even with everything that's going on, I think that Ryan Kalkbrenner at full strength is going to make a huge difference. So it's great to have him. Obviously, Baylor's playing at a high level. We got Steven finally getting to the swing of things, and I mean, our bench players are playing great. So even with Mason back, I think we'll be back to the Creighton team that you've seen before last game.
Do one more for Trey.
Ryan said he wasn't aware that was because he wasn't already retired.
Yeah.
Now they announced they're going to retire. Do you know he wasn't retired yet?
I did, and I've been kind of asking Mac. I was like, Mac, why isn't Doug's jersey retired? Like, I mean, that's the first person you think of when you think of Creighton basketball, and so I mean, it was weird to me just being in the CHI and not seeing it, but I think it's going to be cool for him to do that when we play Nova, and I mean, obviously, me and Doug have built a little relationship because throughout my draft process, I've been in the Spurs facility and things like that. So he's kind of been touching up. But, I mean, that's a great accomplishment for him. He's one of the greatest college basketball players ever. So for him to be able to do that in a big game like Villanova is going to be really cool.